Joe Hockey speaking there this morning, and we'll be speaking to a much respected US military strategist, Peter Singer, in about half an hour on that subject. Floodwaters are still rising on parts of the New South Wales coast as heavy rain continues. Reporter Anne Barker is in Sussex Inlet. And good morning, a very wet morning there. Just explain for us first of all exactly where you are.
Hi Joe, we're at, as you say, Sussex Inlet, which is just south of Jervis Bay on the coast, southern coast of New South Wales. And it's an area where a lot of little creeks, like you can see behind me, sort of weave between a lot of the residential housing here. Now behind me, this creek I think is probably twice the size that it normally is. A lot of boats and a lot of chairs and furniture that are normally just sitting on the bank, if you like, are now completely submerged here. And it's the same scene right through the town. Last night, sort of sometime before midnight, we were able to drive through some of the streets where there's an evacuation order in place, and there was already water lapping at some of the doors or the gates of houses there. This morning it's far worse. There's streets that are completely blocked off. You can't drive through at all. Some people have gone to that evacuation centre, and the people that we spoke to last night, there was a mix between those who decided to stay in their homes and also those that agreed to be evacuated. And it was a similar situation at the St George's Basin, which is just across the waterway from here. A lot of residents there too are facing flooding of their homes and have heeded that evacuation order.
Maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock, we got the knock on the door from the SES to evacuate, and yeah, it was just go. It's safety's more important than anything else.
And so, Anne, how far is the lake or St George's Basin from where you're standing now? And is the big concern later today when you've got the high tide coming in later this afternoon, as well as all that water rushing in from the creeks?
St George's Basin is really only a few kilometres away from here, and that has it's had similar rainfall. I'm told it's about 360 mils have fallen in the last 24 to say 30 hours, but somehow that area is a bit lower perhaps. There seems to be a lot more houses affected there, something like 265 houses in this area around here that have apparently made requests for assistance from the SES. And you're right, the peak of the rain, the water level is apparently predicted to be about 5 o'clock this afternoon. It is still bucketing down here sort of on and off all morning, and even though we're told that originally the peak was going to be this morning at 4 a.m. I think the fact that it's raining so heavily still means that the worst is perhaps yet to come, and it will be probably several hours before this rainwater subsides.
And you're a bit further south from the Shoalhaven River there, but there are other parts of the Illawarra that are feeling it at the moment too, and there are flood concerns for areas just to the north of you.
That's right. This greater region, the Shoalhaven sort of plain, as they call it, has been inundated with water. Certainly the aerial shots we've seen show just one vast lake, really, it looks like, from the air. There was a dam west of Kiama, which yesterday there was a lot of worry that a wall on that dam might collapse because there'd been work done on it just before the floodwaters started to rise. There were couple of hundred children evacuated from a school nearby, but in the end I think that threat has eased, and I'm not aware that there's any problem there today. I think the rain has moved a little bit further south, although if you look at the radar, certainly there's a very heavy rain area sort of still taking in Kiama, but perhaps the southern areas are more affected.
Yeah. Okay, Anne Barker reporting there from Sussex Inlet in New South Wales.